Welcome to the Blogging and SEO show. I'm Michaela, a stay-at-home mom of 3 who just happens to be in love with everything related to SEO, blogging, marketing, coffee, and shedding light into the many mystifying corners of search engine optimization and what that means for us service providers, small business owners, and even bloggers. We're ditching the do-it-all narrative surrounding SEO and blogging and just sitting down and crafting strategies that are sustainable but still get us those first-page, long-lasting results. Now let's get cozy, grab your fave sweater and a cup of tea or coffee, and let's talk everything blogging and SEO. This episode was a little bit sporadically planned, so if you're listening, enjoy that. But I very much wanted to do it. I have Ashley here from Systems Over Stress. The purpose is essentially like the same thing as the show. We do social media optionalness. And I feel like this fits very much into it. And I personally have used it and used these dashboards to make my business a little bit more social media optional. So while I stop rambling, I'll go ahead and let Ashley introduce herself and just tell us about what she does.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for having me. So I'm Ashley. My business is Systems Over Stress, and I take that very literally in both my personal and my business life. Like if something is stressing me out in my business, it's because I don't have the right system set up for it. And so I am always like, I just think of systems as a way to solve all of my problems. And in the beginning of my business journey as an ADHD depressive, like I had all very neurodivergent. I had a lot of stress points that like felt like normal business owners didn't have. And so I literally found this tool called Airtable, and it changed my life. It could like set up automations that like, so I could not only be like social media optional, but like Ashley optional in my business. Like if I don't want to get out of bed for anything, like I needed the business to still run. And Airtable and the systems that I've created inside of Airtable have really like allowed me to be social media optional, to be Ashley optional, and still be able to support my clients at the level that I wanted to while hitting big income goals. And like I had big dreams for my business, but I knew I couldn't be there like hustle, lock in, grind like 24/7 to make that happen. So that's what I do. I teach those Airtable systems that I've implemented for myself to other coaches and service providers and agency owners to help with client management, content management, and all those things.
So when you like got to Airtable, what did you try before Airtable? Because like I know from my own experience, I've been in Asana, I've been in ClickUp.
Yeah.
I currently use like Notion with a mix of Airtable. So like, what did you try before?
Beforehand, I was really into spreadsheets. And I think like a lot of the time, spreadsheets made sense in my brain, especially when it came to like content planning, for example. Like people will have the tab of all of the things that they want to post. And then I would kind of like make the calendar by like spreading out the cells and making it look pretty, but then it was just like, but the written copy wasn't in that one. So like, but it was kind of the best thing that I had, because this was 6 years ago before I found Airtable. So like I wasn't like ClickUp and like Asana were kind of like whispers.
Yeah.
They still exist, but they weren't as like robust of solutions, including Notion as they are now. So I was a spreadsheet girl. And when I found Airtable, it's like, oh, this is a spreadsheet, but so much more. And a lot of, I tried Notion. It would be I call it almost like a bullet journal. Like it's like I would get excited about like setting it up, but I'd never actually use it because it wasn't the right tool for the job. And like Asana, ClickUp, spreadsheets, Notion, I realized they're just not the right tool for a database, like a central source of truth for all of your clients or all of your content. They're more like project management type systems where you can check those things off, and spreadsheets are they're meant for numbers. And so I was like, oh, I'm just not in the right tool. And when I found Airtable, I was like, this is the actual, like the only tool for the things that I'm trying to do.
Honestly, I'm always surprised by like what I see you and even just others do with like Airtable and really any system, because I feel like I'm just not that creative, or I just don't see the opportunity there. Because I know like you have like the client hub and the student hub. Well, I say student because that's what I use it for, but and then you have the content management, and then like I've been inside Jamar's membership, and I'm like, well, all these are coming from Airtable. Like, how does this happen? I just feel like y'all have or even your affiliate hub is in freaking Airtable.
Yeah, because once you really start to understand like I'm not trying to like, I'll just say it. Like, there's some things about Airtable, like I won't die on certain hills. Like if somebody has their content managed in Notion, that's fine. If they do their project management in Asana, that's okay. Those are tools that are kind of like okay for that. But you can't have your clients, you can't manage them anywhere else other than Airtable. It's the best solution for that. And once people are like, well, I have to use Airtable for this, could Airtable be my project management system? Could it be my content management system? It's like, yes, it can. And so instead of having all of these different tools, Airtable really can do everything, but you kind of have to know the core function and feature. Like it's going to change your business if you use it for client management. And then you can be like, oh, can it do your affiliate program management? It's like, sure can. And it's like all of these little ideas get to spark because it's such a powerful, robust system. But yeah, Jamar has a YouTube management membership for those of you who don't know. And he is a client of mine and he does like wild automations. Like he can automatically check in on you if you haven't submitted your results, like metrics report form. And like I get those reminders too. And I just recently got one. It was like, Ashley, are you ghosting this membership? Like, where have you been? And those are the types of automations he set up once, but we get them as his clients. And it feels good to be reminded to re-engage with the program or re-engage with the client relationship. So those are the types of things that you can set up with Airtable.
You said it helps make you social media optional. Like you can just like literally clock out. On a baby scale, how does that work? And then on a big scale, how does it work? Like in the simplest form and then in the complex form.
Yeah, I would say it helps you be social media optional a couple of ways. One, I really like this idea we were talking about before we hit record of like sometimes I'm on when I'm on and I'm like I'm prolific. I'm gonna make all the Instagram carousels and I'm gonna do all the things, but I don't want my business to have to rely on that type of energy. And that's what like these systems can like grow with you when you are like ready to like lock in and read all this content. And it can also support you when you do not know what you want to say or don't want to say anything. Then you can like, one, you can support your clients. You can rely on referrals or like you can actually get better results when you're actually managing your clients, when you're tracking the delivery, when you're just like taking care of your clients. You get to be social media optional because like they're going to re-sign with you. They're going to refer you. You're going to find that revenue outside of just like the constant hamster wheel of posting on social media. So like when your energy is focused on client management, I think you have to market less because your product is just stronger. So that's kind of a baby way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that's
a strategy way.
Yeah, that's definitely a baby way. Because I mean, I feel like that's how I use mine, and that's why I love it so much, because part of my going into like 2025 is by the end of the year, I wanted to create something that was a little bit more sustainable for me. Yeah. So I did like a program at the beginning of the year, Pod to Blog, and this was before I even was in Jamar's and could see like what was happening, because I get his metrics things too. I'm pretty sure there's one sitting in my inbox saying, "Hey, you need to put your stuff in," but I was like, that is literally genius, because I mean, I wasn't even into my client experience more than like making sure they had the bare bones of like making sure information came in or went out until the beginning of this year as well. And I was like, okay, I probably need to use the automations that I have access to like figure these things out. And then when it came to doing my program, I was like, oh, I could probably do better here too. But then once they graduated, I wanted something that I could have like a container almost for my people to continue to exist in. But with all the changes that I have happening, like even just my regular offers and having the program, like it just felt like there was too much for me to manage, for me to like continuously check in on people. Yeah. So that's what I did. I did very similar to Jamar and brought in the database for the client Airtable database and brought it in, and now they can submit their metrics for SEO and submit like their blog post for review after the program and everything like that. And they just get like an automated message when they submit, which I love, by the way. I feel like there's not enough saying like, oh, you submitted something. Like, here's your little reminder that you actually did it, because I will 100% forget.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just me, but like if I submit something or like even like a contact form, like I'm so bad about forgetting I did it.
Totally. And I think that, there's a lot of talk about the recession, and there's a lot of talk about people being burned by past coaching programs or coaches that grew too big. And then you go into this and it's like a dusty curriculum that they haven't updated in 4 years. people are having those experiences. And something that's so cool about Jamar, I can't remember the prices now. I think he's raised it, but like for a while, it was like $200 a month. He's giving custom like metrics reviews. He's doing automated check-ins, all these things. He's giving you like $1,000 a month in value for a $200 price point. Like if you want to lower your prices or like keep them at a place where people can still afford it with recession and with their coach trauma and big investment trauma and all those things, you can rely on your systems. Like he's profitable in that offer because he has automated systems that are doing a lot of that work for him. So that's something when you think about your systems of like, how can I be the best in the industry without this taking on a bunch of my time or without me having to hire a bunch of co-coaches to deliver? Like your systems can really help you with that scaling or with that growing without having to like increase your prices.
I feel like there's like a lot of opportunity too for social media managers or anybody who kind of works on retainer.
Yeah.
For like a content approval system.
Yeah.
That's not nearly so manual for them to like submit it for edits or say like, oh, this is approved. This is good to go. Like you're fine. Or even just because I mean, I do the same thing with my retainer blogging clients. Like now I'm thinking like, oh, maybe I could. This would be so much easier. But yeah, that's essentially what I did with the back pocket SEO is I was like, how do I make this like give them what they need, but more affordable than if they hired me to like hourly do it.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, like I feel like there isn't as much room in a budget or at least comfort in investing. I like to say comfort, but like there's not like that security anymore. I feel like you were saying, there's a fear that you're going to get in there and it's not going to be what you're expecting.
Yeah. And
you're this money in.
And the fear comes from so many sides of like, I won't be the type of person that will show up to the live calls. Like the live calls don't work for me. It's like, okay, what if that offer had asynchronous feedback reviews instead? So the more features you add to a program, you get to like answer the objections of the client and get to support them in all of their different ways. And specifically with that feedback review, because I know a lot of service providers and agency owners have this issue where if they took on like their client roster can be like 5 to 8 max because they're back and forth in reviews and chasing people and their balls would drop and it would just be messy. But when you set up these systems like that, I've spent 5 years like figuring out how to do an Airtable, but now it's very easy for these things to get set up. Like you can literally click a button in Airtable and say, send this podcast, like send this blog to review to the client. The client's automatically going to get an email saying, hey, Ashley, your blog post is ready to review. Review it here and fill out this form for approvals and edits. So it's there. And if they don't fill out that form within 5 days, it can send them an automated email and check in with them. And like whatever your system is now, if you have you know that your system is not as easy as that. And you know like your inbox is a mess. And so like having that type of system can take you from being able to take on 5 to 8 clients to 8 to 15 clients simultaneously. And that can totally change your financial trajectory of your business and your life. Like to go from 10K a month to 20K a month without extra actual work and feeling like you have a system that like, you know, what podcasts or what blog posts are out for edit, what have been revised, like all you just have that like peace of mind that you're taking care of your clients, that everybody's like, you know where everybody is, that lets you grow. And like, that's what lets you get from those 10K to 20K months and beyond.
I think it also goes into like personal accountability almost, because I'm sure there is some potential. I know you have a content hub as well, but actually content is how I originally got into Airtable. I do all of my content calendars for clients in Airtable and have been for like years. And I'm slowly stashing my Airtable referral credits. Just for like the one time that I'll eventually use it on the right database, because I'm not quite ready to pay for all the users that I have because everybody's invited, and I'm like, I'll just hold on to it for now. But one of the first things that I did outside of something I had created myself was buy like a small content calendar, and I was like, this is awesome. Like I had never thought about using it that way, but you can almost do like your own accountability the same way you would do your clients and say like your goal is to publish 4 blog posts this month. Like you can set it up where you're going to get a reminder, whether that's in like Slack or your email, because I love getting stuff in my email, but now that I have a virtual assistant, like Slack has been where I try and get everything because she helps me stay on top of it. And I'm like, well, if we both have access to it, that's even better.
Yeah.
But she and I, like, we can set a list like, okay, I want to make sure that I publish a blog post per week, or I'm doing a challenge right now where I'm posting daily on Instagram, during the weekdays. And I don't know about you, but I have ADHD as well. And I get so hyper focused and like on one thing and so easily distracted that it's hard to continue to see the results from like whatever strategy I've picked.
Yep.
Like it's not top of mind. It's just not.
Yeah, and with I plan all my content in Airtable as well, and how I've been able to kind of be social media optional. I really rely on email, and I know like I'm promoting a masterclass right now, and I do an email a day. So there was 30 emails I needed to do in this pre-launch, and I was able to put like a little record in each of the days because you can have a calendar view, and then I wrote all of those emails, and then I was able to say ready to schedule, and my OBM, she got the email to say, hey, these emails are ready to schedule. So when you're ready to delegate, it's just like, I'm in there writing the emails, doing what I need to do. And then it's like, okay, I did that. That's my main money driver. Now I'm going to move to daily thread posts. And so then like I'm adding in. So it's like, and if I get to every week my team member checks and she's like, so the podcast, you want to bring that back? Like, or doing, I was like, my like foundation, like content pieces aren't like, that's aspirational. But it's like when you figure out the system, like I can write 30 emails in a day now, and I know how to do that. And I've trust myself with that system. So once you've like, then now I can think about the other parts of social media I want to reincorporate or not. And I will not be doing daily reels, probably next month, but this month we're trying it. And so it's just figuring out like, the system really can grow with you as you start to like work your strategy and commitment. I love the idea of being social media optional, but I think it's really important to pick a schedule and cadence on whatever platform you want and stick to it and honor it, because so many of us have this accountability issue where like we said we were going to do 5 posts a week on Instagram, but that fell off, and we're always like, we're bad at social, we're inconsistent with social. It's like, decide you do one once a week, then like make it like rebuild your trust with your posting and your systems. And that's where I go back to the systems over stress thing of like, if I can't get 5 reels a day out or whatever, there's a systems issue. There's either a commitment issue or a systems issue, and figuring out what that is and moving from there.
And it could be like a mixture of both. Like
Exactly.
the reason you're inconsistent is because you don't have a strategy, a system for it.
Yeah, because like if I want to write 30 emails for a month in a day, I need a system to help me with that. Like, and I know I have my system now. And a lot of the times when you set up a system, you realize you actually can create more content than you think you could if you just had like a blank Google Doc,
Mm-hmm. Okay, so have you ever tried rebuilding what you have into something else, like into Notion or into Google Sheets?
Yeah, I try because people love Notion, and I'm like, okay, let me try. And I'm like, this sucks. Like, I will get like, I'll get like 2 steps in, and I'll realize, oh, there is a functionality issue that this can't do. And for Notion, automations are better now, but they are not great. And like, for example, being able to say, hey, check in the last time if Michaela hasn't submitted her metrics review in 30 days, send her an email. It couldn't do that. And I was like, well, that is an absolute requirement for a automated client management system. So Notion is not going to work. A lot of the times when people create systems in Notion for client management, because those exist, there are creators who sell client management templates in ClickUp and Notion and Asana. They don't know what I know about the capabilities of Airtable. Like toe to toe, we had to do like it does this. I will have more green check marks on what's possible than any of those other platforms. They just don't know that their solution should do those other things. So it's incredibly robust and grows with you. And on those other ones, you all are always going to hit kind of like a ceiling.
Yeah, I almost feel like with Airtable, like when I got it, so I've tested so many and hopped from one to another. But like even when I got into Notion though, like there's this level of intimidation of learning something new on top of everything that you're already doing.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that that's fair with Airtable too. Like, you get so intimidated in like the first 10 minutes that you're like, I don't even know what else I could do past this because I'm done. My brain's done.
Yeah, and that's why I mean, obviously I'm here and I'm a business owner. I'm selling you something in some capacity,
Yeah.
but like I do believe like working in a template in whatever software you're with, like using a template from somebody who knows the platform really well and has built the great foundation for you. I was actually just doing a case study interview with somebody yesterday, and she's like, I knew nothing about Airtable, but because I followed your template and watched your video walkthroughs, I understood how it was supposed to all work
Yeah.
together. And she's like, now I understand the foundations of it. Now I'm making my own affiliate hubs, and now I'm doing all this stuff. And she's like, I put in this directory. I was like, I didn't teach you how to do that. She's like, I know, but I know how to navigate it now because I trust my foundational skill set because I
Mhm.
went through like an expert's template. So that's something I would say, whether you're using Airtable, Notion, or anything, like if you're brand new to a platform, starting from scratch, you can just make a lot of rookie mistakes that you'd have to clean up later anyways. So it's worth it to buy an expert's template.
Oh yeah. I mean, I like even just from the one that I grabbed, I was able to like set everybody up pretty quickly. And I swear to goodness, I was so afraid of fucking it up. Like I was like, I don't know if I need this. Can I delete it or is that
Mhm.
gonna like really mess things up? And so I mean you do make it very easy to like go through each, and I very much like contribute the reason that my students so far in the membership have done so well and have been able to keep up with stuff is because they've been in the same place. Like, it's so much easier just to fill out the form. It was a little bit of a learning curve on their end because we had
Mhm.
done stuff in Slack previously, like just send the link in Slack. But now that they're in the routine, like they are very much taking advantage of the features
Yeah.
that they have, like of the offers that they have with the submitting the reviews and doing their metrics. And I do Q&As and all that. And so
Yeah.
they very much like, I don't know, participated,
Yeah, and there's
engaged.
something about like when you introduce a new feature, or like let's say you have clients where they're used to just emailing you and now you're like, sorry, now you have to submit a form. It might seem like more of a barrier, and you might be like, well, I'm a high touch person, so I want them to be able to send it to me on Voxer or email, and I'll be able to like all handle it. And that does a disservice to your clients. Like, and like if they're just sending Slack messages, like in your example, you don't have the holistic, like, here's everything you've ever submitted, and like here's how much money total you've ever made, like all of those things that you can roll up and sum and reference because they're all in one spot connected to a client profile. When you kind of tell your clients, like you said, those automated emails, you can say, hey, thanks for submitting this form. You've submitted a total of 17 forms that have made $300,000 since joining. Whatever you like, it can give them that positive feedback that like there's a reason why there's a forum, because it's all housing all the data in one central spot. And like there's ways that you can show them how much better it is for them that you're more organized. And it's not just like making your life easier as the business owner, it's making their experience better as the client.
I could also say, as someone who's been in like Boxer and Slack and stuff for memberships for like submitting stuff, I think they like it so much better this way through Airtable because things don't get lost nearly as quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Like your link is not pushed back in threads. You're not having to scroll in Voxer. Like, you're not having to like look at things and wonder where XYZ is. You can just get
Yeah.
what you need.
And if you have one-on-one calls with your clients, whether that's a group program or a service or anything, in Airtable, we teach you how to like organize all of their one-on-one call notes in one spot. So you could pull up on the call and say, oh yeah, last time we talked about that you were going to update the SEO for this blog post. Did you do that? And like you are way more prepared when everything is in one spot rather than just like, what the hell did I talk about with that client last month? Like I'm going to have to like go up through our boxing, like, yeah, like I'm like, you don't
Mhm.
remember, and you shouldn't be expected to remember that. And especially if you're getting into like other delivery assistants or co-coaches, like everybody gets to see what all of the touch points you've had with that client in one spot. And that just makes them feel so much more taken care of as well.
Yeah, seeing that history, and so you're not coming in like randomly, like, oh, can you catch me up? It's like going to
Yeah.
see a new doctor, and they're like, so what's wrong with you again?
Exactly. And like to come to a call and be like, hey, here's what we talked about last time, instead of saying, can you remember what we talked about last time? Like they're paying you. You should show up and be doing that work. And with the right systems, it's just all right there. Like, it's not any extra work on your part.
I think that's what makes it scalable too. I mean, yes, it's not. It makes it easier to just be and create and not be burnt out. But like, it's scalable. You can keep stacking on top of each other instead of having to worry about, because I mean, I do retainer work. I can only take, I think my max would be like 4 to 6
Yeah.
blogging clients. But then like, what do I do after that?
Yeah.
Gotta come up with something. And the sooner you have that in place, the easier it'll be in the long run.
Yeah. And there's so much like you can, if you want to scale in the way of like, I now have 5 delivery assistants on my team, and I couldn't be able to onboard them as easily as I have. Like, they just walk into the support ticketing system that I use by myself as a team of 1. But now instead of me answering everything, we now have a little drop down that assigns it to different coaches, and they're all able to answer. And that's something too that my clients are so happy that there are more people getting, because it's faster. It would be 2+ days. Now it's like our average turnaround time is like maybe like 4 hours, because that's their job, to answer the tickets. And so I think that's something when people think about scaling and bringing on other team members, they're like, well, my clients like me. And I would encourage you to think about, if you do have bigger income goals or business goals than what you're at right now, bringing in coaches and delivery assistants doesn't have to dilute your client results at all. It can actually really help, again, if you have the right systems. I have VIP days that, again, my team members do, and we have a VIP day feedback form. And I'm looking at those and I'm like, I was on a boat on a vacation and I could not hit your time. Like, they had a launch coming up and they needed a VIP day. I was like, well, luckily there's 4 other people that can help you on my team. And they were able to get it done within like 3 days of them signing up. And like, they're like, she was amazing, like would absolutely do this again. And I was able to get them that support because of our systems. And that's the power. I think some people are just so afraid of disappointing their clients if they grow, or like things slipping through the cracks, that they stunt themselves prematurely. But just imagining that like with the right systems, you could work less and you could take on more clients and you could have a bigger impact. Like that's why I do this work.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's the goal. Like, take a vacation, have stuff still happen, have people still enjoy what's happening, and not like feel like they're getting the shit into the stitches and stuff.
Yeah. Like, I didn't have to, hey guys, I'm going to spend 2 weeks on a summer vacation, so I'm going to give everybody 2 weeks extra in the group program. Like, we didn't have to do anything like that because they were not affected.
That's perfect. But all right, so then do you have anything else you would like to share with the class? And then if not, then tell us about the masterclass, because I know that's coming up, and say your final goodbyes.
Yeah. So I have a masterclass on September 29th. So if you're listening before then, definitely sign up. My Instagram is the best place to go. If you are listening to this, go to @systems_over_stress on Instagram and DM me and say that you saw this, but link in bio for whatever. If you're listening to after the 29th, there's something else that will be there for you to go join. But the masterclass is called Double Your Client Roster, Work Less Hours, and Get Better Results with Systems and Automation. So everything that we were talking about today, and we'll be screen sharing actual Airtable dashboards. And so if you've never actually been in the software, I'm going to show you what that looks like and show you the types of results you can collect, like how it actually looks. So that's definitely the place to go. I think it's systemsoverstress.com/masterclass or something. But go to Instagram and that'll be the place to find it. But that's going to be really fun. We're shooting for 500 webinar registrants. And for the first time, I've never done this, but if I get 500, everybody who signs up is getting some type of template from me. So it is like being a part of like the collective energy. If you sign up and you stay throughout the whole launch and you're still on the list after the launch, whether you join or not, you're going to be getting something. So it's just fun to like include the community in some of these bigger business celebrations, but it's going to be really great. I'm spending a lot of time like perfecting all those slides and everything to make it as actionable and valuable as possible.
That's going to be awesome. Okay, so everything she said will also be in the show notes and or description of what you are listening and or watching at this moment. I'll also link the dashboard that I personally use because I truly do. I love it. Like I'm completely obsessed. And I will be at the masterclass. I will definitely be attending. I love listening into these things. But that's it for today. Thank you so much for being here. And yeah, bye guys.
Thanks so much.
As always, I hope you were able to learn at least one new thing today and how you can apply it to your own business or blog. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Blogging and SEO Show. Don't forget to hit follow so you don't miss the next episode. I promise it's a goodie. And check the show notes for everything we talked about today. And come connect with me on Instagram at comamama.co. If you have any questions or thoughts you want to share, DM me. Let's chat. Until next time, talk soon.